August has been a pretty intense month. To begin, I had to do a last-minute commission for my mom's friend. Well, you know how moms are, you just can't say no. Fortunately, I didn't have any short deadlines, and also at the end of July, I paused my Patreon for a month because I knew that in August I would not be able to create enough content. By the way, my Patreon is now on and I've already planned some nice content for this month. I was really inspired by the subject for this commission. It's about a happy family who lives in Puglia, just near the sea. They have a holiday village called Olympia, where my parents enjoy spending the summer. This is a quiet place, surrounded by greenery, so you should definitely check it out if you go to Puglia. They didn't give me any special instructions or references for this illustration, so I could play a bit with the composition and perspective. Perspective is not my strength, but when I have the opportunity, I try to push myself out of the comfort zone. The initial idea was to make a white boat, but unfortunately I didn't dilute enough the ink for the first shadows. Since the contrast between light and dark parts was too strong and unusual for a white surface, I finally decided to make the boat brown with some white details. Fortunately, this didn't bother the client. The part I enjoyed painting the most was the waves. I don't have a precise method for painting water, and this leads me to improvise every time. The important thing is to dilute the color a lot to avoid dark spots that are difficult to correct. And voila! This is the finished and framed drawing, ready to be delivered. In June, I was lucky enough to do the Loputin live workshop in Monza. It was the first time I met one of my favorite artists in person. A few weeks later, I've seen her collaboration with a Rebel box centered on magic and witchcraft, so I couldn't let it go. In addition, I'm also working on my character Amelia, who has to do with the use of plants and magic, so this box will surely inspire me. It's August 9th and I have to prepare for my trip to Romania. It's going to be a very long journey because we're going by car there, and the place where my family lives is about 1600 kilometers away. So yes, it's going to be a very slow and long journey. But at the same time, I'm really excited because it's been 3 years now since the last time I've seen them, and I miss them very, very much. I usually take too many things on vacation because I'm a Libra girl and indecision is my predominant feature. This time, however, I had only one bag to share with my husband because we traveled in 4 in a car. At least I could use another bag for the shoes. The journey seemed a never-ending odyssey. We left at night and luckily I brought the Kindle because I just can't sleep in the car. At dawn, we were already in Slovenia, where we had breakfast. As an Italian by adoption, breakfast can only be cappuccino and pastry, or in my case, hot chocolate because I don't like coffee abroad. To pass the time, I even tried to draw in the car, and it's the first time I could actually do it. I asked on Instagram stories for some subject suggestions, and one of them was a cat that eventually became my favorite. In the meantime, we had lunch in Hungary, and despite being on the highway, we found this restaurant that offered us a spectacular goulash. I know when I'm really close to Romania just by looking at the sky. Maybe it's just my feeling, but every time I pass around here, I see this sky full of clouds that extend to the horizon. From the border of the country to my house, we literally have to cross the whole Romania, and therefore different regions and different weather conditions. It's so crazy to have been in 4 different states in just one day. At dinner time, we arrived in a very traditional and folkloric place. The food in Romania is really good and has a lot of options, but most of them are based on meat. On the second day of our journey, we decided to make a detour and visit a place dear to us, Transfăgărășan. If you come to Romania, I suggest you to rent a car or a motorbike and take this road, which is one of the most beautiful roads of the country. The road ends with a lake, and we stopped just a few minutes to admire the view from above. Obviously, I forgot about the low temperatures in this area, but luckily my mom had a blanket in the car, so now I can say that I literally went out with the blanket on. Before we left these places, we were surprised by nothing less than a she-bear with her son. We caught them eating food thrown by tourists. But how cute is the little one? I wanted to get out and hug him. In Romania, it's common to find bears on the side of the road in these areas. It's another experience that can be done without wanting to. Finally, the long-awaited moment has arrived, and I could hug my loved ones. First of all, we surprised the grandmother we call Bunica. She is the grandmother I grew up with in the first years of my life, and who took me to church every Sunday. Then we went to Grandma Mamaya's house, where we slept for the whole period because she has an extra room. At Mamaya's house, things have remained unchanged. Every time I come back, it seems to me that time has never passed, and I actually love this feeling. Another thing that has never changed is the presence of many cats. There are cats that come and leave, some are born there, while others just come and join the group. This time we found a whole family. I also lived in this house for a couple of years before moving to Italy. And here is the village where I was born and grew up. It's called Matka and is known as the White Village or the Greenhouse Village since it's full of greenhouses. People here have been dealing with agriculture for generations. I'm convinced that tomatoes cultivated in Matka are the tastiest in the world. The nearest town to Matka is Teguć. Everyone goes there to walk in the park or shop on the main street, which, by the way, has remained unchanged and therefore very old. Maybe it's time to renovate some buildings. In Teguć you can find some nice cafes where you can order traditional pastry and also fresh orange juice. Romanians are known for partying a lot, and my family is no exception. We love to have good barbecues and gather at one table. On my last day, I had breakfast outside as usual and ate some good fresh milk and a piece of cozonac, a traditional cake that is usually made for holidays. Then I went to see my parents' house, where my grandfather, Tataia, has a small farm with some animals. Back from Romania, I honestly felt a bit lost. Too many emotions and thoughts, and also the tiredness from the journey. Usually to clear my head, I clean the house. And so I decided to clean my art library. On the road again. I thought my holidays would be over, but my husband surprised me with a holiday in Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. August is in fact the month of our wedding anniversary. We stayed there 3 days, and it was enough to fall in love with that city, so full of creativity and joy. Back from holidays and also back to work. I have not drawn or painted for more than 2 weeks now, and for me it's like starting from scratch. It's difficult to recreate a routine, and therefore it's better to start small. So I'm going to pick my planner and fill it with small tasks during these last days of August, like editing this video or getting back to a project I've started in July. Fortunately, I don't have any harsh deadlines in this period, so I can be gentle with myself and give me the time to work slowly and enjoy the process.